I know when I was a child, we had a situation where our garage caught on fire, and luckily the fire department was able to get there before the house caught on fire. Everything that was in the garage was lost, but the things that were in the house weren't, and then our whole family, we had to move. I know that emergency services are something that's definitely important to all of us, but it's one of those things that you really don't think about until you actually need them.
Really, it's a couple of years ago now that we had what appeared at the start to be a very serious incident. It turned out not to be, and that was great for all concerned.
It was our active shooter incident that we had at the high school, which is one of the worst days I've had at work. I mean, it was a good outcome from the standpoint that nobody got hurt and injured, but that was a very chaotic day.
Along with all of the first responders, and there were more than 15 different agencies that showed up and were part of that response.
But again, working with the Sheriff's Office and the Department of Emergency Management, you go from 0 to 60 almost overnight. These entities have to work together.
I tell you that I think it was 2007 or 2008 during the floods, we did run into an issue where I had to drive up there on the South Shore to meet with Bo as the slides were coming down, and to have a coordinated facility would have been nice then.
And that wasn't the case in 2007. The problem was here in North Mesa, and I had a very difficult time getting people's attention. There was a lot of focus on South County and not a lot of focus on North County.
I mean, Highway 3, what if it does get blocked off? What if we have a slide?
Even though North Mason is 1/4 of the land size of all of Mason County, half of the call volume for the Sheriff's Office is here within North Mason.
The majority of my accidents, serious injury accidents, and fatality accidents that I investigated was on Highway 3.
This was a situation that we had not too long ago out in Trails End Lake, and what had happened was a gentleman ended up barricading himself in the house after severely beating a woman who was able to escape, got away. He stayed in the house with a gun, decided to light it on fire, burnt the building, and all of a sudden we've now got a fire emergency with a shooter inside who was just waiting for us to come through the front door and shoot at us.
There's two main areas of population here, Shelton area and the Belfair area. Those are the two large up and growing areas where we're seeing more and more people coming every day to those areas. And we need to have equal representation of government and of our government services for both.
I belong to Department of Natural Resource Focus Group, and there's really only one enforcement officer for this area, and he does have a motorcycle, I think, but North Mason has some off-road equipment, but then it's not located near here, so they have to go get it, trailer it. By that time, it's pretty rough, and a lot of times those ORVs are in the forest, down a trail where they can't get access to unless you're on an ORV.
If we have a boat emergency right now or a water emergency right now, our old closest boat is on the Hood Canal at Alderbrook.
Oh, you know, when you're looking at combining emergency services and the way things are running right now as far as emergency medical, as far as fire, as far as police, law enforcement, that when one of them is called, generally the other two are generally right behind.
And of course the Department of Emergency Management, how about they come up here and instead of just being down in Shelton?
Because we already work with the Sheriff's Office down here. We get called up there occasionally, and we're kind of like lost children up there because we don't know a lot of the folks up in that area.
But wouldn't it be great if all this equipment that we can jointly share amongst our agencies is headquartered in one centralized location? wouldn't that make a whole heck of a lot more sense? And it did to me.
And we're not unhappy with the office at all that we're in. They've been very good to us. It's a nice space. Always, generally having more space is a better thing.
On our current fire station, on the picture on the left, that's on a 2.5 acre parcel of property, and we've got a purchase option right next door on the neighboring 2.5 acres, and we are seeking to purchase that, and that would be the site, if you go over to the right-hand side, which would be a new fire station location. Then of course on the existing fire station I've written on there, but that would become the sheriff's office and would also become the satellite location for the Department of Emergency Management, which via satellite would link up with our, the satellite and internet would link up with our Emergency Operating Center in Shelton. Take the sheriff's office, take DEM, and take the fire department. Let's unite ourselves and whatnot, because a lot of the work that goes into emergency work is done before the 911 call comes in.
However, everybody can learn and grow, and some of the things that were helpful coming out of that were the needs and how we thought we were coordinating and how we could better coordinate with our responders.
We would have actually a place there where everybody could meet face to face, hash things out of how we're going to deal with this, and then go from there.
Wonderful to have this kind of centralized accessibility.
I think it's a good thing, but I need to make it real clear that it's a vote of the county commission, and again, on any of these bond things, this is a vote of the public is what they want. I'm really happy to see that people are looking at these issues and considering that we have to have a long-term plan so that we can move forward. It's the way we're going to be successful, and it's the way anybody's successful.
This is, again, as I said, this is a gift. The idea that they even thought about this, I want to give a thank you out there to the commission on this fire department for them to think so far ahead to be able to have a facility that will service all of us in so many different ways.
The advent of a central station for emergency response just makes good sense.